If you love all-inclusive resorts, I want you to consider coming to this really underrated resort in Cabo, Mexico. My name is Nick, and I want to make sure you do nothing more than have fun on your next vacation and actually step out of your comfort zone and maybe try something different that you normally wouldn't. And honestly, I just want you to get out and travel and have fun. So in this video, I want to talk about a all-inclusive adults-only resort in Cabo, Mexico that is actually one of my favorites, and it prices out so well. It just doesn't get much attention online. So I really want to talk about some details and why this property works so well. First things first, let's talk about the location. Everybody knows, or maybe you don't know, Cabo is broken up into really two areas. There's Cabo San Lucas, which is the main downtown area by the marina, and there is San Jose del Cabo, closer to the airport. And this Secrets resort is actually close to the airport. It's not really far at all. It's about 20 to 25 minutes drive or so from the airport. So basically from the Cabo airport, as soon as you land, you leave the airport driving towards the ocean, and then you can either take a left or a right. If you go take a right, you're gonna go down the corridor, which is the main highway, connecting you down towards the marina, the downtown Cabo San Lucas area. If you hang a left, you're going towards Secrets, the JW Marriott, and the Ritz-Carlton Reserve. These resorts in this area is known as the Puerto Los Cabos area. So these are all new build construction properties. They are not that old. So it's always great having a relatively new or newer resort because why? The buildings themselves and the actual product are just newer. I really like this area. So Secrets Puerto Los Cabos Resort is adults only all-inclusive, as I mentioned, but one of the nicest things about this property is actually it's not a small property. It's actually spread out on a bigger footprint. It's not the biggest resort, but it's also not the smallest. Now, this property has a huge lawn. This is really great because they have themed nights out on the lawn, and it's really like a nice special surprise for the guests. I really loved it when I was here. I thought it actually made the trip. It was really fun. They also had food trucks with things like churros, which is like Mexican, like fried bread dough with cinnamon. They had a whole different array of food and the food trucks. And then they set up a platform as like a stage for the entertainment. So they rotated it. Every other night we had something different. The Mexican theme night though, honestly was really fun. And I thought they did a really good job. So if you want a resort that also is really great service, great food offerings, and a little bit on the bigger side, and still feels authentic, this is actually a really good, solid option for your all-inclusive resort for your next vacation. So like I mentioned, this resort is actually a little bit bigger, but it's actually kind of nice because if you're like me and you get bored easily, you're gonna wanna be able to go walk around the property without like running out of space. And actually this property is set up really nice. The standard rooms are a little bit in the back, off to the side, and then the elevated or luxury rooms with the additional service level, which is called Preferred Club, those buildings are a little bit closer to the ocean, but the property itself spreads out over a pretty good amount of area. And it's also directly adjacent next to a golf course. So if you do want to do some golfing on your next vacation or honeymoon, this is actually a really good resort. The golf course is literally next door. It comes right up along the property. But the other thing I like though too is that there's plenty of room to walk around. It didn't feel too compressed. There was plenty of room. They also have really nice touches like the fire pits in the lawn. That was really nice at night because if you know, or if you don't know, if you haven't been to Cabo, it's really warm during the day, even in the off season, like in the winter, and it's always sunny. But at night though, it does cool down after sunset. A few hours later, it does cool down. Not enough where it's really cold, but honestly, having the fire pits though was a really nice touch. Another thing I love about this property was the main pool, which is located right next to the swim up bar and next to the main restaurant, which I think is their best restaurant, which is called Oceania. Now, the main pool though has the palm trees as like little islands in the pool. It's really nice. It makes for great photos if you want to go hang out and relax or join in a little bit of a party with the music playing. It was really fun. It made it really scenic. Now, the resort could have chosen just to do the basic pool with no like, you know, palm trees in the middle, but honestly, it just added a nice extra touch. It felt like a really well thought out resort. So I gotta give Secrets a pat on the back for this one. This is honestly one of my favorites. And again, it doesn't price as high as the other properties in like the ultra luxury range. This one prices out really well. But the little touches on the property honestly made this just really special. I really did enjoy it, and we've gotten really good feedback from all the groups that we've sent here. Something about this property though that I really enjoyed was the standard for every single room at this resort. So a lot of resorts, sometimes you only get this if you book an upgraded room, but at this resort specifically, every single room, whether you get the entry level junior suite or you get the preferred club master suite, Every room has the oval shaped, oversized bathtub. And so there is definitely room for two people in there too. It is not a jetted tub, but in the bathroom, you have a separate oval shaped soaker tub. It's pretty large. My companion that was with me, we both were able to squeeze in. So I can definitely tell you there's room for two. And it was a really nice touch. A lot of resorts, you'll notice though, this is sometimes only available if you book the premium and upgraded rooms. This was available standard every single room at that resort. So I definitely give Secrets a thumbs up for this. So let's talk about the beach for a minute here. So Cabo in general, we have to have the conversation, the difficult, tough conversation about the beaches in Cabo. The majority of the beaches in front of the resorts in Cabo are not swimmable, and that's because of one thing, the undertow. That is the current, right, that can pull you out to sea very quickly. At Secrets, similar to other resorts here and hotels, the whole town is basically built on sand dunes. In the Puerto Los Cabos area, which there is a marina just down the road from these resorts as well, it's all sand dunes. So you can walk down to the beach, you can do a little bit of walking on the beach, but honestly, it is a little risky. You're definitely not getting in the water there. The waves crash really hard, especially at night, because when you're having dinner at Oceania, which I always recommend, this is my favorite restaurant at this resort, you can actually hear the waves crashing pretty loud. And Oceania has a whole alfresco outside dining. So on the patio outside of Oceania, next to the pool, you can hear the waves crashing from there. And it is set back a little further, but you can still hear it. So the waves here do crash pretty hard, but it is kind of an incline. So the beach here, you can do some walking, but really you're gonna be mostly in the pool. If you do wanna go to the beach though, you can take transportation and go down to Cabo San Lucas or to some of the other beaches that are not directly in front of a resort. There are swimmable beaches in Cabo. Just like I said before, they're not directly in front of the resorts. That's the main kicker. But you can walk down a path. There is a smooth pathway down to the beach area, and there is a wooden beach pavilion there too, and they use that for a reception usually, or for special events or a special dinner like a destination wedding. If you're having a reception for your guests, that works really well. So they can bring the food and everything down there. It's set up right up against the beach, and during the day, if you want to, you can go down there and just kind of sit, relax, take some photos and videos like I did. But that area is really nice. It's great for special events or a nice dinner. They can hold around 30 or 40 people there, I believe, in the last time I was there, unless something changed. Another reason I really love this resort is because of the design and the layout. The property looks like a Spanish hacienda. It really does. And they did a really nice job. There's some really nice steps that make for a great backdrop for taking photos. There is another small pool area right behind the main pool. So between the main building where the restaurants and lobby are and the main pool, you actually have another smaller pool there with the concrete, the semi-submerged seats. So that's actually a really nice spot just to go and relax. Those are first come, first serve. I went in there usually right around dinner time when everyone was getting ready and the pool would basically clear out. It's a perfect time to go there as well. It also makes for perfect pictures at sunset. I got some incredible photos from that pool and it was great. It's really nice. But again, it's your choice. And if you're not in Preferred Club, you'll be fine. If you do get the Preferred Club rooms, you actually have an entire Preferred Club pool, which is wrapped alongside of Oceania Restaurant. So that's a really nice perk for the Preferred Club guests if you want the upgraded level of service and amenities. And don't forget, Preferred Club guests here also get access to the Preferred Club Lounge. Now, most people usually just skip this, but I will say the desserts in there were on point. That was the best part about it, with the desserts. So you actually have a whole lounge room where you can go. It's right next to, I'm trying to remember the restaurant. It's right next to, I think, the Mexican restaurant, where you go up the really steep stairs and there's a little artificial waterfall there too. But it's right in the center of the resort, perfectly located. And the desserts there definitely were on point. So I want to talk about the size of this property, because when we talk about all-inclusive resorts, the biggest thing that I realize most of our clients don't really understand is the sheer size and scale of some of these properties. So if you're talking about a property like the Hard Rock Resort in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, that resort is the size of a city. Now, is Secrets Puerto Los Cabos the same size? No, it's definitely much smaller. It's on par with like the Valentin Imperial in the Riviera Maya near Cancun in Mexico. If you've been there, you'll have a similar frame point. If anything, it's a little bit smaller, but the property itself is pretty big because there's a lot of green space. There's a lot of area to go walk around. You can also take the golf carts if you'd like from, say, the lobby up to your room. It's great on arrival. I didn't really think the property was that big where you really needed them, but they do have them available. And if you do want them, you can just call front desk and they'll come grab you. It's really nice. But overall though, I thought the service at this resort was on point. This property, I would say, is really one of their top 3 or top 5 Secrets properties in the entire Secrets Adults Only All-Inclusive Resort portfolio that they have. They have quite a few resorts all over Mexico and the Caribbean. This was definitely their top 5. I thought the service was on point. The meal was great. And speaking of meals, if you go to Oceania Restaurant, which I definitely recommend, I think that's their best restaurant here at the entire resort, ask for the seating just outside. So it is Alfresco Dining. It's an open air restaurant. And the preferred club guests, you also get access to this for breakfast. Don't forget. So if you want your own restaurant for breakfast, that is open just for preferred guests in the morning for breakfast. But if you go out there, especially for dinner, I want you to ask for the seats off to the side that's actually outside. So you're not under the covering of the restaurant, because there you can actually hear the waves crashing. It's really nice. It was a really nice touch. And I thought the service there was really great. And I wasn't celebrating a special occasion, but they even came out, the guy with the dessert, he lit the rum on fire and then poured it over the ice cream. I just thought really the service here was stellar. I'm gonna give them full credit. This resort is great for those of you that want great service. Just remember, the only negative I can even think about in this property is really there's no swimmable beach here, which that's pretty common in Cabo in front of the resorts. So overall though, I would give Secrets in Cabo a near perfect 10 out of 10 score. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 on my scale. So let me know in the comments, have you been to this resort? Did you enjoy it? Or have you heard about it? Or did you go to another resort? And what did you think? So would love to hear what you thought about this property. And as always, don't forget to click subscribe, and make sure if you're booking this property with us, we will add in our special incentive for those of you that follow us on YouTube. So I want to make sure you're having fun, and definitely make sure you're getting the best value and the best price, and let's say overall the best experience, right? So I will see you guys in the next video, and we will see you next time.